the man who will restore our freedom, restore growth and opportunity and hope and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, the next President of the United States, Humphrey.
Thank you. That is what you would call a warm Granite State welcome. Thank you all. This is a warm day. I came up here to get refreshed. And hey, I want to just say thanks to the band over here. You did good. Thank you. There's just something all-American about walking around the hill, or around the side of the house on the hill, and getting that smell of hamburgers cooking on the grill, chicken cooking on the grill, patriotic music being played, that makes you proud to be an American. And it is great to be back in this state, and I want to say thank you to the Senator and Patty for opening up their home and allowing us to enjoy a nice Saturday afternoon. And I got to think, I mean, he's pretty good. I mean, he can get things fired up, but there's not anybody like Patty to get things really cranking and going. She's one of the hardest working political activists that this state's ever seen. And yeah. Let me just, Senator, thank you for your service, both of you, for your service to this country. One of the great things about running for the presidency of the United States is traveling across this country, meeting some of the most interesting people in the world. And I got to share with you, those of you who invest your time and your resources in helping those of us who are running for office. I greatly appreciate that. You know, it seems like it was a bit longer than that, but it was 3 weeks ago that we announced our kickoff for the presidency, and I got to tell you, the response has been just amazing. We traveled across this. We kicked it off in South Carolina and came straight to New Hampshire, and then over to Iowa, and back to New Hampshire, and back into South Carolina, and I've run in Texas for governor 3 times, and we've had some pretty good crowds and some pretty much excitement. But I got to tell you, it is just fascinating what we've seen in those 3 states, and as we kick this off, and the power of the electorate. And what I mean by the power of the electorate, I'm talking about this excitement that's out there. People are thirsting for a leader who understands where to take this country. They're thirsting for someone to give them a vision of where America can be. They're looking for somebody that understands how to create jobs. They're thirsting for someone to get America working again. And that's why I'm running this, to get America working again. You know, 1 in 6 Americans, 1 in 6 work-eligible Americans cannot find a job today. And Mr. President, that is not an economic recovery, that is an economic disaster. We can't afford 4 more years of this high unemployment, this failed stimulus, this record debt, this poor credit. It's time for a change. And I'm not talking about the rhetoric of change, I'm talking about the record of change. And I think we got a pretty good record of that in the state of Texas. When you talk about a record since June of 2009, 40% of all the jobs created in America have been created in my home state. And as governor, I've led on with a few guiding principles. Listen, I'm telling you, 4 things that we've put into place day in and day out, year after year. Number 1 principle is don't spend all the money. And second is have a tax structure that is light of impact on the job creators as it can be, still delivering your essential services, And third is to have a regulatory climate that is fair, that's predictable. And fourth, have a legal system that doesn't allow for oversuing. And then get out of the way and let the private sector do what the private sector does best. The private sector knows how to do this. I've got faith in America. That's what we need in the White House and in Washington, D.C. People that have faith in Americans again. Faith that Americans are going to make the right decisions. I mean, this is the live free or die state. Y'all get it. I mean, the fact is you can't live free if the federal government takes over 1/6 of the economy and violates the sanctity of the doctor-patient relationship. Right, Doc? Obamacare has to be repealed. You can't live free knowing your children that Katie is going to have this mountain of debt hanging over her. The federal government must cut their spending, cut the regulations that are costing Americans jobs. You can't live free if you don't have the dignity of a job. Take care of your family. A lot of people think our nation's on the wrong track, and they're right. But we don't have to settle for the current circumstances. We're going to change them because we're Americans, and that's what we do. We change things when we see them going in the wrong direction. And when it comes to economic growth, we know that the answer is not some stimulus that's trickling down through and into massive government bureaucracies, going to hand-pick industries that are creating a few temporary jobs. We know that's not the answer. Mr. President, you cannot spend your way to prosperity. It doesn't work. It's never worked. Senator, I am tired of all the liberals who care more about jobs being created so that they can staff more government programs. I'm tired of that. I want jobs created for families so that families have more income and they'll decide how best to spend it. Jobs are about the dignity of the American worker. Families being able to live the American dream. And in the coming months, you're going to hear a lot of appeals from my Republican friends who are running for this office as well. And let me just say, they are very good men and women. But as we consider the economic misery that the senator was sharing with you when he read the front page of those two papers, and zero job growth, and that is misery. And it's spread far and wide by this administration. We don't need a nominee that blurs the line between President Obama. We need someone who will draw a distinct difference and a distinct line. And I am that candidate. The differences between President Obama and myself are great. He's lost more than 1 million jobs in 2.5 years. I've helped create 1 million jobs by freeing up our private sector in the state of Texas to do what they know how to do over the last decade. We've increased President Obama has increased our debt by $4 trillion. Yes, sir. $4 trillion. I've signed 6 balanced budgets. I'm the only governor since World War II that cut general revenue spending in the state of Texas. He, on the other hand, has proposed a government takeover of health care and mandated insurance for every citizen in this country. I will repeal as much of Obamacare as I possibly can in my first day in office by signing a political executive order. Consider it done. The fact is, there's not another candidate that's running that's got that record. There's not a candidate who has a record that can serve as a blueprint for our country. But the fact is, it's up to us. It's up to this present generation of Americans to take a stand for freedom. Send a message to Washington that we're taking our future back from the grips of the central planners who want to control our health care and spend our treasure and downgrade our future and micromanage our lives. It is time to limit and simplify taxes. We're spending money we don't have. We need to get our fiscal house in order and restore our good credit, and we'll repeal, as I said, this president's one-size-fits-all government-mandated health care plan. We'll create jobs, and those jobs will in turn create wealth, and we'll truly educate and we'll innovate in science and technology and engineering and math. We'll create the jobs and the progress that's needed to lead this country forward and in turn lead this world. As the senator said, I'll promise you this. Every day, I'll get up and I will try to make Washington, D.C. as inconsequential in your life as I can. And the reason is because I believe in America. I believe in America's purpose. I believe in her promise. I believe our best days are ahead of us. I believe when the history books are written, our best days are still ahead. With the help and the courage of the American people, we will get our country working again. And I want to say thank you for being here. Senator, thank you, and Patty, God bless you. And through you, may God continue to bless this great country that we care about. God bless you. Thank you.